A little bit before the video starts, I did a video for this a while ago, about maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I didn't like the way that it was and how it was actually talked about. So in this video, it's going to be a remake from that and a little bit more in depth with a little bit more time on the video because I think I had like 9 minutes on the original. But this is called MALYS, and that's what Google Translator was telling me when I was trying to pronounce it earlier. My take is that it's probably malice, but it's spelled with a YS because actually the person or demon you're trying to hunt down, being Noah, the priest, is actually named what that says on the actual game title. But before that, let's go ahead and see this little cutscene here when you start the actual run.
This is no ordinary city. No bustle of traffic, no lights, no music, no laughter. Eyes watch from the shadows. Things crawl in the darkness. The sound of heavy wings.
After the cutscene with Noah doing some inner monologuing and talking to Angel, which is one of the characters you see in this game, you go into the roguelite elements. On the left-hand side, you have the health or will of Noah, which is the priest. Then you have the right-hand side with the faith and your deck. And when it comes down the left-hand side, that other thing there, that's actually your like artifact or your kind of special power with that deck. When you go and do these different types of events, you have different things that happen. You have a little bit of story, you have the specific place, the demon that you're about to exorcise, and then you continue on into the actual combat. The combat is the reason why I like this game a lot. Though, to some extent, I kind of feel like I'm John Constantine or like a Slimwick version. And when I say Slimwick, I mean that in the sense of the referencing of Suit for Hire, which is another game that kind of lets you feel like somebody from a movie like John Wick, but you're not actually John Wick. So in a sense, this guy's a half-glass type of John Constantine, but he's trying to find and hunt down a specific demon named MALYS, as you see from the game title. Now, let's go ahead and talk about combat a little bit more. When it comes down to it, you have Noah on the left-hand side or bottom left-hand side of the screen that has his 100 will. Then he has his artifact and whatever effects that he has, including his deck. He has a hand on the bottom side of the screen, and you can do a couple things. One, you need to get action points or candles, and the only way to do that is by burning the card and sending it to the discard pile. It does not get removed from the game unless you have a card that can do that. It just gets burned and sent to the discard pile without being used. So if you're going to do Compel, which does 6 damage directly to the demon, or if you have Arcane Ward, that will protect you for 6, so on and so forth. Then you have the demon in the center of the top side of the screen, and then you have its minions. Sometimes on your side, you could have minions like the priest, the specter, the nun, the believer, whichever you have, and they do different things with, for example, the priest will do 1 additional damage if you use a card that's costed 1 or less. So if I use Salt Prison and I get 3 salt, that's 0 cost doing 3 damage, and it does 1 additional per. So instead of 3 damage, it's 4 damage. So like I said earlier, you're going to have to burn cards in order to be able to activate them. And as long as you have cards in your hand, you can keep burning them constantly, and it never ends. Like I was able to one-shot a couple of demons without even needing to go and have his turn, and then I could just go and move on to something else. But they have different demons that you have to exercise as well as being able to bring them out. Now, what do I mean by bring them out? I mean that you have to discover their name, and it's another mechanic before you fight some of these demons. Now, for a new player discovering new demons, that's going to be different for you, but if you're going to be playing the game constantly and trying to get different demons to pop out, some of them, if not most of them that you find, are other bosses that you'll fight, and they'll give you more faith after you beat them. For example, the lesser demons will give you like 15 faith, and then a card you can get, or both of them, and then you have the other ones, which is the mini bosses, before the big guy. Mammon is his name, and he's the region boss, and once you beat him, the game is pretty much over. It says, thank you for playing our early access game. Please give us feedback, blah, 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 and then you can make a new run. This is the mechanic I was talking about earlier. This, I think, is a ritual, but you have to get the bar from the left all the way to the right completely highlighted, and when this happens, all the symbols will be highlighted, crushed together, and then it'll form the name after you press the reveal button. Once the name is revealed, you'll go into combat, and you have 2 different phases. The one thing I forgot to mention is that there's 2 fail states in this game. The first is Noah when he reaches 0 will. The other one is if the host dies. So the host will have like a purple bar underneath numbers, and that'll be the HP of the actual host the demon is in. If the host dies, the game is over. If Noah dies, the game is over anyway. This is what happens after the ritual when you discover their name. Endure pops up in big capital letters, and then the demon appears in front of you. Like I said before, when it comes down to the demon, he's going to have 2 different types of phases, and on the top left with that circle will be his intention. Sometimes will be unknown, so you can't tell what they're about to do. Other times will be blatant to where he's about to attack you, attack the host, do a debuff or something else. Like I think Pearl Eye, he does like a attack that does multiple times, and then sometimes he'll actually make you discard cards. I don't really remember his entire pattern or his fight style, but this is his second phase. And once you beat his second phase, once again, you get a bunch of rewards from 35 Faith, which it's a currency in the game that allows you to buy cards, buffs, and so on, and then cards originally for the deck. The deck is only 1 in the game, just like there's 1 character. You have the other characters as support characters, like Gideon, Lydia, and I think Angel, but like it's not a whole lot of content. And when it comes down to new runs, you're not seeing different modifiers, you're not seeing a bunch of different other things, you're not seeing a change in the story. It's just the same thing, and that's what the bare bones of MALYS is. Getting to the other support characters in the game, you have Angel that gives you health and heals you up. Then you have Lydia that gives you buffs like Divine Spark when a volatile card is burned. Also deal 5 damage to a random enemy. And then another one I think called Carrion Crow, which is, it's kind of like Deadly Deal in fight type spaces, that you'll take 3 damage per turn, but you'll get all your health back when you beat or exorcise the demon. That guy there you seen was Gideon. He's actually a demon inside of a human's body, which is weird for Noah because he purges all demons regardless of them being friendly or not. Then you have some of these random events that pop up to where you'll lose a bunch of faith or will when you see like something really bad happen, like somebody got murdered or somebody had like an accident and he couldn't do anything about it. But on the flip side, you have the good things that happen. For example, you give some money to a starving beggar, you go and take somebody out on like a cafe or like a restaurant rather than, you know, prostitution type of thing. It depends upon the story, and I hope that the developer adds more different types of events to the game so there's like different stories going on. I don't have a problem with reading so much, but I kind of wish they would do a little bit more of the voiceover stuff. That being said, the game is early access, and is it worth $10? For me personally, I think so, but you aren't going to get a lot of replayability out of it. Like I said, once you beat the region boss, which is named Mammon, the game is over and kicks you into the screen that says thank you for playing the early access version. And anything else you want to add to it, join our Discord. The game only has 1 deck, 1 character. The runs really don't change very much until later on in development continues. And, you know, they add more bosses, more levels, more kind of like areas to go to, some new events. I'm hoping for all of that stuff to come out. And once again, people are like, oh my god, it's early access, it's terrible. I am the complete opposite of that. I will buy a game in early access and watch it develop because 1, I could put out videos for it. 2, I could talk about it, people get interested. And 3, it's better than spending $60, $70 on trash, AAA trash, I might add, from other, you know, developers like Bethesda and Microsoft and some of those other places, because I don't want to give them my money when they really just suck. But this is Mammon. He is the region boss in the game, and once you beat him, the game is over, and that's all MALYS has right now. They did do a recent patch that had a couple of new enemies come into the game, but that's about it. There's not really much going on in terms of like anything huge, but I still had some fun playing it, and if people want to check out a new card game, definitely check this one out. Anyway, I've been One Nut Punch. Thanks for watching the MALYS video, and I'll see you in the next one.